Alright, let's get this going. So obviously we're going to start in the town, because I don't even remember where we left off. Let's go with Annabelle though.
Okay.
So, back in town.
Not on the right map.
Are you tired after that adventure at all?
I'm not on the right map. Break.
Yeah, definitely not on the right map. Huzzah.
So, no, you are not. You know, despite having to create an aura of calm around you to walk through a sandstorm. Speaking of which, that sandstorm is still in the area. It's actually encoding the town. So it's moving through here as well.
I really hope that wasn't the sand wraith that did all this.
Probably.
So annoying.
That's the assumption.
Anyway, I guess I go over
So the
to
swamp turtles are kind of like hunkered down against the growing wind. In fact, let me enable the wind. So I think it's a little higher velocity than that. Nope, not that one. Like. Yeah, close enough.
So yeah, I think what Annabelle does is... one second. Okay. Yeah, she just walks up to Chi, grabs her on the shoulder, and kisses her.
Okay. You haven't even... You gotta get there first.
Huh?
So you gotta get there first. Like, you're still not there. You're still, like, walking through the sandstorm. Can you even find where you live? Do you actually live in the housing district, or do you live in the inn? Which one do you live in?
Well, technically I just got back, so I don't live anywhere.
Okay. So, roll a d2. Where are they right now? So you went to housing district like you thought they would. Yeah, okay. So that's like rocks and shit pelting. So, they're at housing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just coming from that. Okay. So that got a little weird. That's why. I'm gonna have to just get rid of that soundtrack, because that's just weird. I didn't expect the rock pelting. The hail. I did not expect that. I guess I didn't listen to the whole track. It's like, we gotta set up the scene, man. So first and foremost, you just arrived through the sandstorm. And then, let's see. So you went to your residence, and right now, like, they're just kind of, they didn't even know that you got in. It's a lot out there. Like, they're doing what they usually do, which is prepping for any next battle.
Yeah, so Annabelle just walks up, like, taps her on the shoulder when she turns around.
Yeah. Let's see. And her response, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What was that for?
I'm excited.
Excited? Why?
I probably don't have to die.
And it's like Eagle just walks out of the door. It's like, all right, well, you guys are having a personal moment. I'll be over there. No, but he really doesn't say anything. He just gets up and walks out. He's still like he's sharpening his blade, and he's still doing that as he's walking out. Like, he's so focused on it that he just, even though his legs are moving and his body is moving, he's still doing the same job. Okay, anything weird about that? Yeah, besides the fact that he's still focusing on his task, his legs are moving independently of his torso. So he's still facing the same direction, but his legs are moving up and to the left. So he's moving in this direction, but he's facing this direction. So it's one of the more disturbing facts about him.
Fun party trick.
Okay. So, and like, she's like, okay, what happened out there? Couldn't have gone that well.
So I went out there, just had a nice chat with the dormant one.
It's like, oh?
According to him, which is probably just a complete liar, but he doesn't want to be awoken.
It's like, you mind repeating that?
He doesn't want to wake up.
So, and like, she's trying to wrap her head around this. It's like, so let me get this straight. All the legends say, and all the myths say that he's trying to wake up. We're all wrong.
Pretty much, according to him.
So, it's like, and why do you believe this?
Hope mainly, but he didn't seem like he was physically able to lie or know what that concept even is.
It's like, what signs were there that he couldn't lie?
He was like me before, but worse.
It's like, and she kind of chuckles and is like, oh, you mean lacking emotions, not caring about the people around you, killing everything that gets within your blade reach? That
I
you?
kill everything. I heal. Anyway, but he seemed to be more of a beast of logic. He didn't want people to die. He didn't want the world to end. He didn't
Like,
seem
and
to want
it's
anything.
like, she stopped sharpening her blade for a bit, but she goes back to it. It's like, so he logic to your mind.
He also disowned his children.
Okay. It's like, oh, that's different.
Because they're trying to summon him.
Well, at least the legends of that are right.
Yeah. That, and according to him, I'm not allowed to die until I have children.
And then she's looking at you, it's like, good luck with that.
I won't worry about that for a while.
So, and she's like there, it's like, so you're basically worrying over nothing. And I was worrying over nothing. And it's over, and that's it.
Pretty much. Like, I probably should look up a few more leads just in case, but as long as we kill the children, nothing should happen.
And it's like, that does not sound like the most pleasant of tasks.
They're just, the size of the entire housing district.
Well, if I had to dissect that argument, 50% of that is agreeable, the other half, not so much.
So, yeah. Also, I met an owlbear. He was nice.
And then it's like, she's raising an eyebrow, it's like, really?
What?
It's like, I don't know whether to believe you or to doubt you.
Yeah, apparently either I'm very good at finding telepathic animals, or I can telepathically talk to animals now.
It's like, well, if we were to put the logic sense, you might have called him in your time of need.
Maybe.
It's like, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you're some sort of multi-elemental, right? And you've been spending all that time gathering with the elements. It's within a realm of reason that you develop some sort of warning system in your mind that projects when you're in danger, so that anything in the area that can help you will help you, or hear it. Makes sense.
He started off trying to eat me. So, it wasn't the most helpful. Although I did end up riding him to safety, so...
Yeah. It's like, so where do I fit in with all this? I mean, it seems like you got everything in hand.
Well, you fit in where you want to fit in.
It's like, that's not very reassuring.
Not very reassuring. That's up.
And so she gives out a sigh. It's like, sometimes people don't want a choice, they want someone to choose for them. If we all don't choose, then who's gonna choose? No one.
Well, can't I give you a choice?
It's like, you can give me a choice, but you can give me a choice that's limited.
Okay. Do you want to be with me or not?
It's like, well, I'm here, aren't I? And remember, she's kind of focusing on you at the same time. She's prepping all her gear still.
There's a choice. Do you want to take this any further?
Okay, so it's like, that's up to you. So,
Well,
and so she just stops doing what she's doing and she drops everything and she just puts it aside. It's like, let me tell you a story. Because if this is gonna happen, we need to know more about each other.
okay.
So you're gonna like pull up so she's like gesturing you to pull up a chair or something.
I'm probably already sitting down.
Okay. So and she like physically gets up and she like puts, because you're sitting in a chair, right?
Yeah.
She rolls her eyes, she gets up, she grabs your chair legs and she like drags the chair so that you're closer. With you on it, and then she just sits back down.
Well, that's one way of doing it.
Because she wasn't keen on asking you, could you move forward? It's like, no, just solve the problem. So it's like, all right, for this to work, you're gonna have to know a little bit more about me, and I have to know a little bit more about you. So who's gonna start?
You can.
Wait, are you or is she?
She.
Okay, she is going to start. And so she gives out like a she smiles and she gives out like a sigh. It's like, I knew this day would come. That one day you would ask. It's like, you remember, it's I think I remember you mentioning the Grey Phantoms once.
Yes.
And how our organization spent our time hunting them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, not all of them.
Okay.
Some of them my crew had spared. I guess that's where our disagreement came in. My crew and I, we slew who we could, but some of them we saw as use. Because, you know, we needed crew. We needed men. We needed soldiers on our ships. We needed deckhands. And thus some of those deckhands weren't, unless it's much cheaper to incarcerate someone, to enslave someone, than it is to hire someone. And so, like, she's looking off in the distance. She's not even looking at you. It's like, so I guess against my better judgment, I decided to let some of them live.
Okay.
It's like, it all ended anyway. Didn't end well.
How did it end, specifically?
They came back. Came back in greater numbers. I blew up my ship, killed all my crew, left me alive, but that's because they didn't know I was alive.
So you spared their life and they ended up killing
Yes.
everyone.
One of the greatest mistakes I've ever made as a captain. And that's why I'm a captain no longer. Why I'm not a leader either.
Well, mercy is generally a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. So she like picks up her sword and throws it against the wall and the thing like shatters a window. And she's just looking at her hand. It's like, you know how many people I sentenced to death with that decision?
I don't know how many people are on a crew of a ship.
Like, more than I can count. Because they're still around.
They are?
It's like, And she kind of sighs. It's like, I have some context still. There's a port city to the northeast. I still keep in contact with some of my old friends. The ones that are left, anyway. It's become a very dark place. And so, like, you know, the window's shattered and she's looking out, and it's like, I'm gonna need to ask you something.
Go ahead.
Okay. It's like, are you willing to reface them again? And they won't be as easy as last time. They won't be some rich nobles that you've been sold to. These guys don't mess around.
If I kill every last one of them, it would be too late. But I'm still willing to do that.
It's like, it's not about the killing. It never was. And that's kind of the problem. Just sure, we can go in on a murder spree. We can go back to that town. We can claim it as our own. But then what? So, and she like gives out a brittle laugh. And it's like, are we any better?
Yes. There's a difference between killing to save people and killing to kill people.
And she kind of shoves you. It's like, of course you'd say that. You're some sort of hero. Me? What am I? Just a washed out pirate and then a washed out guard. Both considered dead.
We've done a lot together, though. We have saved lives.
It's like, yeah, what lives? Who have we saved? Mostly the dead. The already deceased. So we're saving the dead?
We're saving those who are hurt and who are afraid of death.
And she just sighs like,
There's the whole point in saving the needy is they're needy. They need saving. It's I'm sort of like trying to think of the words to explain.
it's like, and she's looking, she does a side glance, and it's like, you know, for someone who's good at deceiving people, you're not doing a very good job.
Well, I never said I was trying to deceive you.
It's like, well, that's a reassuring thought. Somewhat.
I mean, I have to completely exacerbate my emotions, but that's about the extent.
And so, like, she looks at you, and it's like, then how do I know what you're saying is real? You said it yourself. You could fake your emotions.
All I'm doing is making them more easy to see, I guess would be the words.
Like, and she's like, I'm not convinced.
Well, how could someone like me convince you? Like, if you say someone is lying, you can't prove yourself.
And so like, she gets up and starts walking out. It's like, help me put this all right, and then I'll think about it.
Well,
So she's going outside. Like, she goes outside and she picks up the sword on the other side of the window that she just broke with the sword.
well, I already assumed we were going to do that.
Wait, what?
I had already assumed we were going to do that.
It's like, yeah, but it's different hearing it from the sense she's sitting back down. It's different hearing it from the person who's actually going to go along compared to just assuming. I'd rather hear. And so she kind of pushes you playfully. It's like, do you know me at all?
You've been very closed off.
It's like, fair point. It's like, I'm not the type of woman to just believe in assumptions. I'll believe in the hard facts. I'll believe in the actions. I won't assume that you're going to do anything. And in fact, half the time, half of my assumptions have proven false anyway. It's like, for one, I didn't assume that you swung that way, but apparently you do. Secondly, I didn't assume that we were going to be anything other than just master and companion. That was wrong as well.
Master and companion.
It's like, what? You were holding all the keys. You were some sort of hero. What was I? What did I have? The same I've always had, just myself.
You're a good friend.
It's like, yeah, I guess.
Same with Eagle, even though he won't admit it.
I was like, you really need to be careful around him. He's got some motive. I haven't quite figured it out yet.
He probably wants me dead.
It's like, I wouldn't doubt that.
You do know the story of how he came to be, right?
No.
When I was young, I sort of explained how I was like captured by the Grey Phantoms and then thrown into...
And she has sympathy for that, and just, you know, now she feels worse.
So, yeah, I kind of...
Like, you see her head kind of dipping, like, her head starts dipping lower as the story progresses, and, you know, everything that happens, and the horror that you went through and everything.
Yeah, and
then it's like, so then she looks up and looks out the door, and Eagle's in there. Or Eagle's outside, still doing his task. It's weird because he's looking to the left, but his seating position, he's sitting down and his legs are facing downward. So, looking this way, but legs going that way, sitting down that way. So, it's like, so you're telling me that man out there, there's that boy that you spared back from the dead a long while back.
yeah.
And then she gets up and walks to the corner of the room, and she's got like a pondering look.
I told you, Mercy was about 50-50.
It's like, I'm starting to believe Mercy doesn't seem to be worth it. It's like, at least not when it comes to certain people.
I don't blame him. In fact, he has all the right to blame me.
It's like, well, yeah, I mean... So, and she turns around to sit back down. It's like, well, yeah, you did destroy his whole family.
Yeah.
Leaving his brother and him open to looters, and then killed by said looters.
Pretty much.
It's like,
I was
do you
young.
not feel any guilt for any of that?
Well...
It's like, you could have had your revenge, you could have just escaped. You didn't have to ruin their lives.
I'm sort of like looking at her. Well, I guess maybe I do hide something from you.
It's like, you have two options, really. You either kill him, or you make amends. Whichever one of those comes first.
I've been trying to make amends. It's very difficult.
It's like, yeah, he's looking at him. It's like, yeah, he's rebuffing most outside contact.
Sort of just looking down now.
And then she kind of she does a chuckle. So, you and I. What a strange interest you have.
That's up.
And she just laughs. It's like, now who's the one who's speechless?
I'm just confused.
It's like, yeah, I would assume as much. So you're just sitting there, and so like, how long are you going to be sitting there in silence for a while, or are you going to be sitting there for longer?
Yeah, Annabelle is just confused, so she's...
Okay, so she's trying to comprehend. She's got like a wicked smile on her face. It's like, finally, I got her to a point where she can't understand what I'm saying. So you're just chilling there. I mean, now what? What are you gonna do now?
I don't know.
I guess you have a... Is your block bigger? Or is it the same size block? Same size block. You have the weird 2x2 block. It's not a big house, but it's a house.
Is it a tree house? Because it's on a tree?
D100. Does it have... no. It's just near a tree. There's a tree growing outside.
That'd been awesome.
So you got a relatively nice review, but remember who's... okay. One of the things that happened is Dogma can now level up. Which makes him level what? Okay, so... Level 14. He's got another 6 levels to go. Which is, if we did it by session per session, that's equivalent to... every 5 sessions he can get an upgrade for his level. Which currently, that would mean he'd need to go through 30 sessions in order for... which is equivalent to a couple months before he can get full level up to become a lord. So you might want to speed that up a bit.
Sorry, don't have money to spare.
Fine. We're just gonna skip my part because, you know, without Finn, Whereat cannot do his bit. I'm linked with another character, and until that other character shows up, or I don't know if he's coming or not, then I will continue there. Okay, so do we want to move on to Sains, or do we want to just keep going?
I don't know.
You're not helping my cause, but alright, we'll go to Sains. You guys need to learn how to decide. I know I'm supposed to make decisions, but come on. It's like, you know, give me something.
I'm just trying to think of something that I would do.
Okay. Okay, well then say, no, let me think about it. That's if you gotta, it's a habit. If you have to think about it, that means, alright, move on and then give me time to think about it while another character is doing their bit.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know.
Okay, so remember that robot? Yeah, you got that robot back.
Wait, what?
Remember the thing that tried to kill you?
Oh, yeah. The one I deceived.
Yeah.
And then studied.
Telling you it's not Sains?
Just one thing. We are not aligned with where we are on the map.
Yeah, I already got it.
Alright.
Okay, so besides, let me start adding some things. So your population is unknown because you have the entire population of the undead to call upon, if need be. But only a limited amount of them can become soldiers. Most of them are just spirits.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, so this is a very rough... Hold on, let me...
I basically have
like there are groups of them talking, there are groups of them just now that they know that you're a friend, you're not an enemy, and you're not trying to kill them or subjugate them. They have actually come out in force. So, and most of them, they don't look like they're not soldiers. They're just, some of them are just women, children, just random people. I would do the more elaborate. Well, I'll work on that later, so... So, things that are present... Actually, let me go reopen your Lord sheet. So, you have... Currently... You still don't have a region name. That actually didn't save, that was supposed to save.
Oh. Well.
So your primary export is military, so you get mercenary contracts. because you have somewhat of an embassy. Anyone that's willing to take a job can come here and get a job, or at least a mercenary contract.
Alright.
Now all we need is a postal system.
Yeah, he doesn't have a that's one of his major. Well, nobody has a postal system. Nobody has invested in any of this, because without the postal system is considered a last tier item. It's an extra item, but without it, you can't advance your population or your whatever. Okay, so that's the area you're in. The things you have are a source of food, water. You have shelter. You actually have an armor, and you have a smith. So you start
great.
those at roll 2d2 or roll a 2d3. Let's see what level they are. So okay, so one is so you have level 1. It always seems to end up this way. No, never mind. You have level 2 weaponsmithing, and then you have level 1 armor smithing. So you have 1 for the armor, 2 for the weapons, or yeah, 1 for the armor, 2 for the weapons. Let me get my writing tool, wherever it is, which I don't remember where it is. There it is. Change the color. Make the text larger, too large. Nope, that's just the right size. So this is your somewhat hold. So let me check the large sheet. You have armor, weapons. The whole place is one giant inn, really. It's just a large scale inn with they designed it this way so that if there are passing travelers and they are doof friendly, that they can take a lot of them in. Unfortunately, the plan kind of backfired, because who's going to come out to the middle of nowhere for this stuff?
Apparently I did.
Yeah, that's you, but you were on a mission. I'm talking about random adventures. A lot of people seem to avoid this place. Well, the hostile wildlife could be a cause of that. So even Fico admits that, you know. Hostile wildlife has a habit of devouring most people that come into the region, so there's a good chance that nobody is going to come around here. To be expected. So the one thing you have that I don't think anybody else has is you have a general store. So, but if you want better weapon upgrades, you're going to have to go back to the main town of Safe Haven. They're the ones with more technology.
Proof.
You're kind of like just starting out with your tech mastery. What is all that? I see a lot of writing. Do you guys see that too? Whiteness, 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 white. Who wrote that? Damn it! I know it's supposed to mean something, but it's like, all right. So let me undo that. The whiteness, so that you don't. There. Now the whiteness is gone. I didn't actually notice that until now. So I guess you guys were paying attention. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. You guys always like to... So you have a general shop which sells things from food, water, travel goods. The basic stuff. Nothing too advanced. It's not like Uski's shop where he has survival gear. It's a general shop. That's like a specialist shop.
Yeah.
I also noticed general shop is on here twice. I need to get rid of one of them. So you are missing quite a few things, many of them involving people that are alive, such as you don't have a militia, you don't have a town guard. You have the Doulahans, but they aren't exactly a guarding force because they're supposed to stay under the radar. And the most you have, roll a d10. How many do you actually have? It has to actually roll a d5 plus 5. I forgot. I need to start doing minimums so that we're not getting weird numbers. Okay, so you have in total, you only have 8, which is equivalent to 2 squads. One which is the knight squad that you fought their captain, and then the other one is an archer squad. But they're pretty resilient. They can't exactly be killed very easily.
That's a good thing.
Ow.
Because they can resist mortal wounds. because they don't actually have bodies. So anything that is a mortal wound will likely not hurt them. The only thing, like, they're extremely vulnerable to magic, though.
Hmm. And that's the reason why I shredded his armor.
Yeah, that's the only reason you shredded his armor, is because you used magic. You didn't use standard blades. Standard blades did nothing. Because their specialty is they have hybrid 3 armor, which allows them, they're slower, but they can resist damn near anything. Okay, so I'm still checking the lord sheet. Alright, armor, check. Weaponsmith, check. Inn, check. You have a general shop and you have an embassy, but the whole thing is an embassy. So not only is it an inn, it's an embassy for outside races. Okay, let's see if I can find those. Nope, those nomads are gone. Were they tailing you? No. So they're not coming this way. So, have you actually made contact with the armored boars outside? Like, have you tried to talk with any of them, or, like, get near them?
I have commanded two to fight each other, but
Say what?
that was in a different situation.
Wait, say that again?
That I commanded two to fight each other, but
Yeah, you
that
did.
was before
But they
I
were
met
just
people.
playing, they were acting out. Because they just, because the main thing is they were testing you to see, would you just be a bullheaded adventurer and go straight for the kill? Or would you try and not fight yourself and try and spare people? You kind of got 50-50. You almost failed. Because if you had swung your blade at them, then that would have been, that's it. This guy's not a friendly, this is an enemy. But since you went the path of non-violence, you actually used the situation against them. Even for the machine, that's why they said, alright, you have a chance. Still, it's still to be decided. They don't know quite well. Why do you have a... Your armor is very strange. It's got a weird number. Do you have max armor rating?
No.
Okay, so why is your armor 50?
Upgrades.
Okay, so... I must be rounded.
Probably.
So that should be 8. Then you have grade 8 plate, which is 1.8. So that's 20 plate, that's 28 plus 1. I'm just going to calculate that. So, oh, it's 28, it's almost times 2. Why do I get the feeling like that's not right? Nope, it's 50 armored, it's rounded. But it's rounded down. Okay, well, so much for that plan. Well, it's not so much that it comes from a specific company, it's that the chair is old. Just, furniture is furniture, it's just, you know, eventually we're gamers, we wear it down. We wear things down all the time, and that's where the industry thrives, they thrive on our habit.
Sadly enough, they do.
Supposed to, I mean, that's business.
True.
'Tis business. Alright, so back to us and Sains. What would Sains be besides getting reacclimatized to everything? Just like I said, we're back to the main thing. Have you tried to talk with the beasts outside and, you know, see what's up?
Apparently I have.
Okay, so you have. How did that go? Pretty well. Compared to the last time, which now that they know you're a friend and not an enemy, they're actually a lot... Like, they're not... So they're vicious just on the outside. On the inside, they're actually supposed to... They're protective species. You know, because this is like their... This is one of their nests. And in a way, let's see, does that go as far as... This used to be their nest, but then the Templars came. And they dislocated them. So now this is now they're back in their lands.
Great.
That's what happens. I mean, these Templars did not leave a very like they kind of came here to purge darkness. They didn't come here to make friends, and you saw how that went. Didn't go well. They didn't do a very good job either. So we still have to deal with it.
Mm.
So the machine is asking you to follow it. It's like, you will accompany me, Masta St. It's calling you Master now.
Alright then.
So it's not giving any preamble, it just turns around and it's like doing a mechanical stilted walk that way.
Sure, I guess.
So advise standing 10 to 15 feet back, Masta St. So, and it deactivates, and then, like, you see it start to change. Like, its body starts to morph.
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
I wouldn't go that far.
That's what it looks like.
So, like, right. There's, it deactivates, and then its parts start to fall off, but you see parts start to float. Along with that, you're starting to see, like, parts sort of materializing out of the air. So, and what is left is one of these. So, like, and this thing starts to tower over you, and you just see the size of it. It's almost scraping the ceiling.
Well,
so it's just like it towers over you. And so it just slowly starts walking towards you. And it has to, like, it has to take both knees, and then it has to, like, go into a samurai sitting position in order to get low enough so that it could bend over to get its head, like, above you. It's that tall. So, and in, like, in a monotone voice, it's like, or in a, it's like a bass voice. So you are the one to lead us.
Yes.
Okay. It's like, good. It's been a while since a candidate has had the spine to say so. And so it's still looking at you. I see size does not cow you. That is also good.
It's not the size that matters. It's how you use it.
Yep.
Well, I've fought and slain bigger foes than you, so...
Okay. It's like, and then he kind of, there's a mechanical chuckle. It's like, but have you really fought me before?
You not.
Okay. It's like, you fought bigger foes, but not every foe is the same. I thought in time you would have learned that by now.
I know that. I'm just saying, size doesn't matter.
It's like, that's spoken like someone who hasn't fought anything out of their league yet. He's got kind of a mocking tone, somewhat. It's like, in time you will learn that every foe leads to another foe, a bigger foe, until eventually you get to a point where you just cannot survive.
Probably.
Okay. It's like, so long as you accept that. It's like, but you're probably asking questions of yourself, such as, who is this being? Who addresses this lord?
Well, I wouldn't really call myself a lord.
Okay. So I advise you not laugh, but my name is Lord Trinket. So, I know it's hard not to. That's the point. Is this name is supposed to make you laugh, but he tells you not to laugh.
Alright, Lord Trinket, or did I pronounce it right?
Yeah. And so, like, he pulls out a mechanical hand, but it's not really a hand. It's like, you see on the hand, like on the wrist, there's a slot where a blade can come out. So like he reaches down and he kind of picks you up, and he's like bringing you to his face. And it's you get the feeling that there's like energy and stuff dancing over you, like he's scanning you. Okay, so he does that. Are you bother, like, what are you doing as he's picking you up and he's doing all these scans of you?
Looking questioning at him.
Okay. So he picks you up and puts you down. It's like biosigns recorded.
Why do you need them?
It's like so that when the time comes, we can find you. It's like, but I feel I will not be needed. Your next adventure apparently has no need for me, nor will I fit in such a small network of tunnels.
Oh, for news.
And so he gives kind of a yawn. It's like, I hope one day I will find a battle worth fighting. And so he's trundling away, and then he just sort of like he sits down against a wall, but he's really big. I mean, it's kind of.
I walk back over to Oso.
Okay. And she's just sitting down. I mean, she's getting the Queen's treatment. There's food, drink, plenty of places to rest. Did you guys do anything, or like, did you?
When I arrive, I see her sitting on the on the chair, and I'm like, "You getting comfortable?"
Okay. It's like, hell yeah, I am. Look at this place. I can't believe we are the lords of this now.
Well, still, we shouldn't treat them as lesser beings.
It's like treating them as lesser beings. Where'd that come from?
I've seen people do such things, so...
it's like, what, am I doing that?
Not yet.
Okay.
It might
It's like,
happen.
why would I treat them as lesser beings? I mean, they're feeding me, they're giving me drink, they're giving me a place to stay. I don't see the reason to treat them as lesser beings. And so she's like, are you treating them as lesser beings?
Definitely not.
It's like, so where did that come from?
Don't piss them off. Just something that popped into my mind.
It's like, well, sometimes you need to just keep that in your head.
As lesser beings.
It's like, and she's like passing over. It looks like a piece of meat. You're not quite sure what meat it is. Actually, D100, do you recognize what meat it is? So, no. So, you don't know what type of meat it is. All you know is that Oso is stuffing her face with it as well.
The meat! It's people!
Okay. And so it's like, I might have taken a few bites out of the other side, but, you know, just it's food. It's like, oh, don't act like that. I mean, you know, we are a couple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so eating each other's food is not a problem.
At
least not for me. I don't know about you.
For me, it isn't either. But I was.
So it's like, so what's the problem?
I was thinking about what the robot just told me. So.
It's like, his name is Lord Trinket, you know.
I know that.
It's like, at least refer. It's like, you just met the man. At least you just met the machine. At least refer to him by title. Now who's treating someone as less than people?
I was thinking too much. So.
Okay.
See?
It's like, well, you need to start focusing on what's in front of you, not so much on what's ahead. Worry about what's ahead when we're actually there.
True.
It's like, and so she drops, it's a bottle. It looks like something alcoholic. At least, can you tell what alcohol it is? So, this is grog. This is orc grog. It's like, I can't believe they had this stuff, too. And, you know, it's pretty strong for... All I remember is Estrio's stock. This stuff is pretty strong, though.
I don't drink, so...
Yeah. It's like, I do, but I can't actually get drunk. You know, metabolism and all, and evolution.
Well, at least that's a good thing. You'll not end up like Dogma.
Let's say, and she kind of gets a sideways glance. It's like, yeah, very true.
Another reason why I don't drink.
Okay, so... Until like Fika, you get the feeling there's a presence behind you. Do you see the do you feel the presence? Okay, so you feel the presence. You have a higher sensory for spirits now. So you know Fika's behind you. What do you like? Say hi, or what do you do?
I just slowly turn around.
Okay, so he's like peering over your shoulder. It's like, oh, you. What do you want? It's like, oh, just curious what humans eat, or whatever the hell you are, and whatever the hell that is.
I'm not really a human, so...
Okay. It's like, yes, that's a given. Your father made it clear enough that you're not a human. It's like, oh, don't act so dramatic. I mean, literally, he can come back anytime he wishes. He's just waiting for you to pass the next test, as he calls it. I know that whole, you know, it's like he just wanted to make a scene, he just wanted to be all heroic, you know how the dead are, it's not like we can amuse ourselves very often.
Well, now you can.
It's like, so it's like, in all honesty, he was really doing it for the spirits watching, he wasn't doing it for you.
Of course it didn't.
It's like, oh no, I'm not talking about that was a very legitimate heart-to-heart he had. I was just talking about the other theatrics, like the walking away hand in hand, walking in... Some of the stuff is, that was more theatric for the spirits watching. It did make quite a show.
There is still one thing I wanted to ask before they left, but oh well.
It's like, oh, and what would that be?
Who the father was of my mother?
Wait, say that again?
The father of my mother, who it is.
Okay.
Or
It's like
was.
that, even he doesn't know.
Well, she does.
Okay, which father are you referring to? Are you referring to the Black Dragon side, which is the nobles, or the Blue Dragon side, which is the guard captains?
Black Dragon's side.
Okay, the nobles?
Yeah.
No, it's like, well, your mother left clear instructions that, you know, those nobles and her father might still be alive in the city. Black dragons are surprisingly hard to kill, and surprisingly hard to age and die. They don't die naturally. They usually die in battle or some horrible atrocity. Kind of like what you went through. It's like,
well,
but there's a good cause that her father is still alive. And I don't think he'll treat her son very well. He didn't exactly agree with their bond either. The only one we know for sure that will be your friend is the captain of the guard in the Black Dragon city, Funos. It's like, and you're wondering why the captain. Because, unlike the rest, he's a soldier, not a politician. He didn't care for the traditions or the little bonds that you have as a society.
Same like me.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why you guys get along. Or you might get along. He's a soldier, you're a soldier. If you show him a test of strength and you show that you're stronger than he, maybe he might decide to, I don't know, help you.
Help me with.
It's like, and so he goes over and taps your head. It's like, you have so many questions all the time. Why? Why do you have so many questions?
Probably like my father said.
Oh. Yes, your father, he did say, curious nature, that it would, if you don't keep it in check, it'll be your downfall, but you're not going to keep it in check, as I've seen, so I hope you enjoy your life. That's all I can hope for.
Every question I answer leads to more questions, so...
It's like, yes, the only way to really stop that line of thought is for it to stop completely, which, hinting at death.
Rather not. At least not yet.
And so he's like, now he's like upside down. Are you getting distracted by any of his antics? Did you ever? Like, he's upside down, he's like above your head, and you have to look a little bit up to see him. He's like kind of floating. So, no, you're not distracted by his antics. It's like, but are you really going to go back? I mean, you're not exactly welcome in that city.
I haven't decided yet if I want to go back.
Okay. And it's like, well, my advice is don't. It's not like you need to. There's nothing really to gain from going back there. It's like, you'll find a reason eventually, but right now you don't seem to have a reason to really go back.
The only reason that might be is that they might have the power to stop the undead from killing everyone.
Wait, say that again?
The only reason might be that they have the strength to defeat the undead.
That's like, so do we. But our strength is different. And really you have to think to yourself, is it really about killing the undead? So like, now he's definitely getting more animated and more serious about this. It's like, do you know how many of those undead are actually evil?
Not a few, not a lot.
It's like, not even a few. None. The answer is none of them are evil. Most of them are simply slaves.
But who is controlling?
And as you've seen, it's not an army that will defeat them, but conversion that will defeat them. Freeing the souls from dark corruption, from enslavement.
Well, that's not something I'm good at.
It's like, well, that's something you'll have to learn eventually. Or are you going to take this the hard way, simply try to pit an army against an army, have thousands die for a vain cause? Triangle.
No, I'm not crazy.
It's like, I never said you were crazy.
No,
I just said that it's a fool errand to try and find a bigger army to fight another army. An army that apparently has limitless numbers, don't you realize? If you were to pit another army against them, you would simply be swelling their ranks. Everyone that dies becomes another slave to the undead.
But how do we stop the undead then?
It's like, that, my friend, is something you'll have to figure out.
The only way... Do I actually know of these things? No, alright, I do.
So, it's like, in secret, you both know a way. So for you, it's the only one you know, like, you know a couple people who can save the spirits, and there's two in particular, and that's Annabelle, and that's Dogma. So those are the two you know who can you have two options right now. You can either try your plan, which is raise an army to fight the undead directly, potentially swelling their ranks with everyone that dies, or you could try to purge them, it's going to be harder, because their magic gets more adapted as you purge more souls. So it's like, well, there is an option 3 though, and that's probably going to be the most difficult. Have you heard of the King of the Dead?
Let's see. Have I heard of him?
Yeah. So you have heard of you've been around long enough, and plus you keep hearing references. Like, you were there when Pei first gave you the legend of the King of the Dead. So that's when they remember the three references, which is the three things, the three major powers that she assumed were darkening the land were the Dormant One, the Great Black Drake, and the King of the Dead. Well, you know of 2 of those. The third one you've been kind of omitting because you've been fighting the undead, but it doesn't seem to be getting any better. And every number you lose becomes another undead. That's why Troik did a campaign of isolation. It's like, let's not lose anybody to the undead and just defend ourselves. But he doesn't realize, there are millions of undead under the ground. I mean, look how many generations have died on this land. There must be millions of them under the ground. But you're in luck because it works both ways. Well, sadly, that works for spirits too. If a spirit is slain by the undead, their soul becomes enslaved by them. Same thing. Doesn't matter if they're alive or dead, they'll try to enslave your soul to serve them.
Great.
So option 3 is you fight the king of the dead. But in your current state, you wouldn't last 5 seconds. Actually, and he's counting with his fingers. You wouldn't last 3 seconds.
How do I fight him then?
Well, you're going to need you're going to need to get stronger. You're going to need to have a crack force to come with you. You're going to need holy magic, because he is the unholy incarnate. He is the source of the greatest dark arts in this land, that I know of anyway. It's like, we cannot aid you in this, because as you saw, and she's like gesturing around, as you saw, the Order of Templar was not the best people to support.
True.